What's up? My name's Cam. I teach people personal and professional stuff that is really kind of esoteric in nature, and coach, business coach, whatever you want to call me. All right. So I'm going to teach you something called the emotional guidance scale today, which I've made 2 or 3 videos about previously, but I had a conversation with a client last night and we talked about relationships because he's trying to get over a relationship. So this is the emotional guidance scale. As you can see, there's a downward spiral, and as you can see here, there's an upward spiral. Once you start learning about this, and you can just Google emotional guidance scale and save this image, I'll tell you what you need to know right now. You'll see that there's a bunch of emotions, obviously fear, depression, powerlessness, victimhood. All of these things keep you in a lower state of survival, right? And this is where you're losing or bleeding energy. Super important to know. Over here, we have the upward spiral, and this is really where contentment starts, optimism, hope, happiness, enthusiasm, love, gratitude, freedom, appreciation, even authenticity is above this. Authenticity is the highest form of emotion. Now, you have to work up and down the scale one by one. So in order for you to process the emotion of revenge, you have to ask yourself the 5 things: the who, the what, the when, the why, the where, the how, before you can move over to the next highest emotion. And this is how you work up the scale. You have to sit, you have to journal, you have to meditate, you have to talk it out in order to process those emotions. Jeez. Emotions are just energy in motion. I say this to all of my clients in one-on-ones, okay? And when you start to give yourself an outlet to process these emotions go away. If you do not process your emotions, they will wreak havoc on your physiology. They will never leave your body, and they're like a little dog that's never been out of the house all day. It just starts tearing shit apart. You have to give your emotions an outlet. Stop distracting yourself, stop running away, sit with these really uncomfortable feelings and figure out why you're feeling this way, and then ask yourself, what do I need to do to process this emotion and do this? By putting your body into motion, you actually interrupt the emotional pattern. You can't be in a fight or flight scenario, which is what you're in. You're in a sympathetic state when you're going to the gym. Your body's in a fitness mode, right? It's in survival mode. It's trying to grow. It's trying to do things, therefore interrupting the emotional process. Super clear, right? Now, the thing about relationships that you need to know is when you meet someone and you are in a lower state of vibration, what happens is this person brings you all the way up the scale, right? Because love feels good. It's something we all want. We all crave that. And when somebody brings you into these feelings of contentment, of hopefulness, of optimism, of positive expectation, belief, enthusiasm, passion, joy, knowledge, love, freedom, appreciation, authenticity, I can finally be myself. All that stuff feels really good. But what you didn't notice was that this other person carried you up this emotional scale. And then when you guys break up, guess what happens? You fall down this emotional guidance scale all the way back down here until you catch yourself feeling like a victim, feeling powerlessness, feeling grief, fear, insecurity, guilt, unworthiness. And now you have to work back up that scale. What I see most people do is most people will be here and they will just meet somebody else because they give their power away and they want someone else to meet them. And this is where codependency starts. People will meet them and then they'll allow themselves to be carried back up this scale, maybe up until hopefulness, to the point where they start feeling that again. Then something happens in the relationship, they get in a fight, they break up, they separate, they stop dating, somebody goes, somebody cheats, whatever. And guess what? You fall back down this scale a bunch of times. Throughout your life, you may find this being a repeating pattern in your life where you are falling down this emotional guidance scale, continuously losing your power, right? No one ever teaches you this stuff, and this is why I'm making this video, because if you can recognize this pattern and you can save this emotional guidance scale, you can see that you're wherever you typically operate. Most people operate pretty much here on a given daily basis. You can start to manually work yourself up this emotional guidance scale, therefore reclaiming your own power, therefore setting better boundaries, therefore being able to create what it is that you want in the life that you deserve. Ipso facto, this is what I teach clients. This is my number one most taught lesson to most clients. I don't have a plan. I don't have a full course yet, but I do have one-on-one coaching. I can teach you this in one session. I'm trying to make these as short as possible. If you want to learn more of this and all the other tools, I'll start doing little snippets here on TikTok to teach you guys this, because this is the kind of shit that should be taught in middle school, it should be taught in high school, it should be taught in college. But here you are acquiring new knowledge for your life and for yourself here on TikTok. So good for you. Send me a DM or go to my link in the profile, book a session, and I can chat about this more. And then we'll get you going on the right track, because that's what I help people do, is I help them get their power back. Peace.